Anita Pallenberg is an Italian-born actress, model, and fashion designer. She was the romantic partner of Rolling Stones multi-instrumentalist and guitarist Brian Jones, and later the partner of Keith Richards, the guitarist of the same band, from 1967 to 1979, by whom she has 2 children. Early life. Pallenberg was born on 6 April 1944 in German-occupied Rome, the daughter of Arnaldo Pallenberg, an Italian sales agent, amateur singer and hobbyist painter, and Paula Wiederhold, a German secretary. Anita became fluent in 4 languages at an early age and studied medicine, picture restoration and graphic design without achieving a degree. Before settling in London, she lived in Germany, her native Rome, as well as New York City, where she was involved with the Living Theatre, starring in the play Paradise Now, which featured on-stage nudity, and Andy Warhol's Factory. Romantic involvements. Pallenberg is known for her romantic involvement with Rolling Stones band members Brian Jones, whom she met in 1965 in Munich, where she was working on a modeling assignment, and Keith Richards, for whom she left Jones in 1967 while on holiday in Morocco after Jones' violent behavior towards Pallenberg. She remained in a relationship with Richards until 1980, although they never married. There were rumors that she also had a brief affair with Mick Jagger during the filming of Performance, and Keith Richards states in his autobiography Life that it happened. However, Pallenberg denied the affair in March 2007 when Performance was released on DVD. Children. Pallenberg and Richards together had 3 children. Son Marlon Leon Sundeep, daughter Angela, born 17 April 1972, and a second son, Tara Jojo Guns, who died in his cot 10 weeks after birth. Influence on the Rolling Stones. Author A. E. Hochner mentions Pallenberg's influence on the development and presentation of the Rolling Stones from the late 1960s and through the 1970s. She played an unusual role in the male-dominated world of rock music in the late 1960s, acting as much more than just a groupie or partner of a band member. Jagger respected her opinion enough that tracks on Beggar's Banquet were remixed when Pallenberg criticized them. In the 2002 compilation release of 40 Licks, Pallenberg is credited as singing background vocals on Sympathy for the Devil. Tony Sanchez's account of his time as Richards's bodyguard and drug dealer mentions Pallenberg's strange spiritual practices. She was obsessed with black magic and began to carry a string of garlic with her everywhere, even to bed, to ward off vampires. She also had a strange, mysterious old shaker for holy water which she used for some of her rituals. Her ceremonies became increasingly secret, and she warned me never to interrupt her when she was working on a spell. Sanchez goes on to describe Anita as having been like a life force, a woman so powerful, so full of strength and determination that men came to lean on her. Richards says she shared his addiction to heroin. She was charged first in the 1977 Toronto heroin arrest that led to Richards being arrested on charges that could have led to a lengthy prison sentence. A warrant for Pallenberg's arrest was the reason police came to search the pair's hotel rooms. She pleaded guilty to marijuana possession and was fined several weeks after Richards's arrest. In 1981, after Richards and Pallenberg had split up, Richards stated that he still loved Pallenberg and saw her as much as he ever did, although he had already met his future wife Patty Hansen. In a 1985 Rolling Stone interview, Mick Jagger claimed that Pallenberg nearly killed me. When he was asked whether the Rolling Stones had any responsibility for the personal drug addictions of people close to the band, singer Marianne Faithfull, Jagger's girlfriend in the late 1960s, remained a friend of Pallenberg's. They appeared together in the 4th series of the BBC sitcom Absolutely Fabulous in episode 4, Donkey, with Faithfull playing God and Pallenberg the Devil. cleared of manslaughter. In 1979, a 17-year-old boy, Scott Cantrell, shot himself in the head with a gun owned by Keith Richards, while in Pallenberg's bed, at the South Salem, New York house shared by Richards and Pallenberg. The youth had been employed as a part-time groundskeeper at the estate and was involved in a sexual relationship with Pallenberg. Richards was in Paris recording with the Rolling Stones, but his son was at the house when the teen killed himself. Pallenberg was arrested. However, the death was ruled a suicide in 1980. Despite rumors that Pallenberg and Cantrell had been playing a game of Russian roulette. The police investigation stated that Pallenberg was not on the same floor of the house at the time the fatal shot was fired. Film and fashion. Pallenberg has appeared in more than a dozen films over a 40-year span. Most notably, she appeared as the Grey Tyrant in Roger Vadim's 1968 cult classic sci-fi film Barbarella, and as the sleeper wife of Michel Piccoli in the film Dillinger is Dead, directed by Marco Ferreri. She also had roles in the German crime thriller A Degree of Murder, which featured music by Brian Jones. The cult film Candy as James Coburn's possessive nurse, Volker Schlondorff's Michael Kohlhaas, Der Rebell, which was filmed in Slovakia in 1969, and the 1970 avant-garde performance in which she played the role of Ferber. Pallenberg appeared in a 1968 documentary about the Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil, directed by French filmmaker Jean-Luc Godard. In a March 2007 interview, she related her encounters in Rome in 1960, while La Dolce Vita was being filmed, with Italian filmmakers such as Federico Fellini, Luchino Visconti and Pier Paolo Pasolini, and with the novelist Alberto Moravia. In 1985, for the video of Wild Boys, Duran Duran used the clip of Pallenberg from Barbarella. Pallenberg has been portrayed in popular film and television. Monet Mazur played a young Pallenberg in the 2005 film Stoned, a biographical film about the last year of Brian Jones' life. In 2006, the NBC television show Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip included a story arc in which the character Harriet Hayes was hired to play Pallenberg. In a film, Pallenberg studied fashion design as a mature student at Central St. Martin's in London. She graduated in 1994. She now divides her time between New York City and Europe, and sporadically appears in public as a party DJ. Pallenberg has 5 grandchildren. Filmography: A Degree of Murder, Candy, Barbarella, Dillinger is Dead, Michael Kohlhaas, Der Rebell, Performance, Umano non umano, Le Berceau de Cristal, Love is the Devil, Study for a Portrait of Francis Bacon, Absolutely Fabulous IV, Episode 4, Donkey, Hideous Man, Mr. Lonely, Go-Go Tales, Sherry, Stones in Exile.